I still remember the exact moment I realized something was wrong. It wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It was quiet. I was lying in bed staring at the ceiling when I heard someone breathe. Not snoring, not talking. Just a slow, controlled breath, coming from somewhere inside my apartment. I held my breath to make sure it wasn't me. The breathing continued. That was the night I stopped feeling safe anywhere. At the time, I was 27 and living alone in a small apartment just outside a mid-sized town in the Midwest. Nothing fancy. One bedroom, thin walls, neighbors I barely knew, the kind of place you choose because it's cheap and close to work. I worked evening shifts at a warehouse, which meant I usually got home around midnight. I liked the quiet hours. The roads were empty, the apartment complex was calm, and I could unwind without anyone bothering me. I had routines. Lock the door, drop my keys in the bowl, microwave something unhealthy, shower, bed. I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't jumpy. I didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that. If something went wrong, I assumed there was a logical explanation. That mindset didn't survive very long. It started with small things. The first thing I noticed was my front door. I always locked it, always. But one morning, after getting ready for work, I realized the deadbolt wasn't turned. I told myself I forgot. Simple mistake. Then, my kitchen cabinet started changing. Not open, not broken, just rearranged. A mug I always used was suddenly on the top shelf. A knife flipped the wrong direction in the block. Again, I blamed myself. The next thing was the smell. Some nights when I came home, my apartment smelled like someone else's cologne. Something cheap and strong. Definitely not mine. It would be there for a few minutes, then fade. I checked for leaks, neighbors, ventilation issues. Nothing explained it. Then came the sounds. Soft movement at night. Not footsteps, more like someone shifting their weight. Fabric brushing against fabric. Always brief. Always just enough to make me question whether I'd imagined it. The breathing happened for the first time about 2 weeks later. That night, I didn't sleep. The turning point came when I found the chair. I came home early one afternoon because my shift got canceled. As soon as I walked into my bedroom, I stopped cold. My desk chair was positioned directly in front of my bed. Not randomly, centered, facing the spot where my head would be when I slept. I stood there for a long time, trying to convince myself I'd moved it. I never sat in that chair unless I was working. And even then, it stayed at the desk. I checked the rest of the apartment. Nothing else was disturbed. That night, I set up my phone to record while I slept. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't call the police. I still wanted a normal explanation. I went to bed with the lights off, phone hidden on the shelf. Sometime after 3 a.m., I woke up. I couldn't move. I could hear breathing again, much closer this time. Then I felt weight on the mattress. I don't know how long it lasted. I remember staring at the doorway, waiting for something to appear. My chest felt tight, like something heavy was sitting on it. The breathing wasn't rushed. It was calm, confident. Then I heard a whisper. Not words, just air passing close to my ear. The weight lifted. I jumped up, turned on every light, and grabbed my phone. The video was still recording. I watched it sitting on the kitchen floor with my back against the fridge. At 3:17 a.m., the camera picked up movement. My bedroom door slowly opened wider. Then the chair moved. Not dragged. Lifted slightly, then placed back down. Something stood between the camera and my bed. I couldn't see details. Just a darker shape against the darkness. It leaned forward. toward where my head should have been. The breathing was recorded too. I moved out 2 days later. I never went back alone. The landlord said there had been previous tenants who broke leases suddenly. No police reports, no explanations. I threw away the mattress, burned the sheets. Even now, years later, I still sleep facing the door. I still wake up when I hear breathing that isn't mine. And sometimes, when I'm almost asleep, I swear I smell that cologne again.